right, guys, what's going on? Hope you are having a wonderful week. Get ready for some chop this week. That's what I'm expecting. But I want to talk about something. Take Two reported today. I saw a video on Activision. I thought it'd be very, very cool to make this video. I've been getting a lot of questions of similar nature, and I thought this would be something cool to discuss. And I even saw a video kind of made me laugh in reference to this. But before I get into that, make sure you guys have post notifications on because I have a bunch of ideas. I'm going to be releasing some videos. I need you guys' feedback. If you don't like me like that, you don't show love, then that's cool. That's how it is. That's just, I'll just make these videos in my closet lonely and just chill. But no, but really though, make sure you guys have those on. I need your feedback. So drop a like, comment, talk to me. Give me some video ideas too, because I really feel this week is going to be kind of slow. I don't think we're going to have too much news except for some of that China data coming out, the Fed, and we'll see what happens. Apple did break below 200. I'm trying to think what else, but pretty slow. So we'll see what happens. But I want to talk about this Activision falling on this news. And so this video I saw, what made me want to make this video is a lot of people make this same mistake, especially with like Apple. And what it is that Activision had this little BlizzCon thing, and it was funny too. And I think as traders, if you guys are trading and investing, and I'm a gamer, I'm into that stuff. I don't follow it as much as I used to, but I'm aware of this stuff. I didn't watch BlizzCon, but I did come across this news. It became a meme and I think this is something as an investor you should take note of because that's not good for the company, especially Activision. And they had this meeting. They had this this was like their keynote for Apple, and it turned into a meme because they booed him. They booed him when they announced that they're going to mobile, and the response by Activision was just kind of Elon Muskish of just absurdity. They're like, "What? You guys don't have phones?" But that's not the point. The point was I saw this guy made a video, had a bunch of views on it, and he makes videos about Activision and games and all that. And he was saying that the stock price ran up into BlizzCon, which was this November 1st, I believe, right here. And I just want to make that clear because that's not really it. And a lot of this is what I was saying with Apple, because this is the mistake people make with Apple. They're like, oh, iPhone, they're going to announce an iPhone. They're going to announce glass screens or sapphire screens. That happened with GT Technologies. That was back in the day, and they went bankrupt. People make this mistake a lot and assume that that's happening. Just because it would maybe big for some people in that event, you may think it's big. To move financial markets and to have people trade on that's crazy. Why? And even then, looking into the chart of Activision, with the investment world, there's expectations. Call of Duty got released. There's competition from other games. There's stuff like Red Dead Redemption, and pretty much they didn't meet those expectations, and that's what has been causing this sell-off. And it's been selling off a little bit harder than the market, but it has nothing to do with BlizzCon. They did got murked today, but again, there's other companies reporting they're missing on other stuff. It's not just because of this, although that event did have a negative effect. But pretty much what I did is I overlaid Activision with the S&P 500, so you could see on November 1st what Activision did for the last 20 days, even the last really 3 months, really, except for here, you see this divergence. And this is where, if you wanted to say something was going on with Activision that caused it, this is where you'd look, because it started to sell off when the S&P, you can see it kind of follows for the most part, but it was definitely trading below that. Now it's kind of moving on par for par, and now it's starting to break loose again. But that BlizzCon, up until BlizzCon in those days prior, it was just literally, that was just the market. The whole market bounced. You had a big move. And even this whole month with October, it's very hard to attribute anything to singular events. And that's another reason where I want you guys to focus on this video and don't get caught up with your trades, that you have other events going on, sure, but they have to be really, really strong events to outweigh $8 trillion of money leaving the financial market. So that's what you have to put into context, because there's bigger factors. But now, as a different example, I will show, here's Starbucks. This was a good example. I played them. If you guys followed me on Instagram, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram so you can see I post a lot of trades on my stories. I have a bunch of story highlights you could see, and that's just more real time. But Starbucks is a great example. You see the stock market, but as the stock market was dropping, Starbucks kept going all the way up. I killed it on this trade. I made 1,000% on it. I believe bought them for 30 cents, just under 1,000%. Sold them for like 280. But look at the chart. This is the S&P 500. While it was dropping, you didn't see Starbucks really budge, and it held. That would be more likely to say Starbucks had Starbucks Con and it worked. You know what I'm saying? Versus, you saw how other companies reacted. But obviously, investors, what people were expected with Starbucks, everything, it's clear that didn't carry over into Starbucks. So that's the best way to look at this. I don't want you guys to make the mistake to take little news. I even had somebody DM me and they said, oh, well, and they said, am I naive to think that Pandora just announced the $1 billion buyback? Is that going to make the stock go up? You're not going to see when events happen, buybacks, anything like that. It's not going to be a direct, boom, this, then, buybacks take time to get implemented. The stock in general, how investors are going to respond to events. It all depends on the scope, but a company has a valuation. It's worth billions of dollars, especially something like Activision. Investors aren't going to, chirp out and give up 30% of that valuation because of, an event, or they're not going to buy it because of that, and they're not going to sell it because people booed. That's something. It's easy to get hypersensitive to news like that, where you guys got to be careful. Don't be numb to stuff like that. Somehow, by being ahead of this stuff, you can't get into it. At the least, what I can say is, looking at Activision, it is, starting to have that divergence from the S&P 500, giving back excuse me, more gains. It's losing more than the overall market. Let's take a look, though. Even how you could even get a general idea is look at competition too. Take Two is kind of doing the same thing, but Take Two is actually outpacing it. So you can see kind of maybe something is happening with Activision. So it's not to say the Blizzcon. I just wanted to talk about that, kind of clear that up, give some people a better idea on that, and give you guys some news. And I really, the market, I don't know what to talk about right now coming into this, because I really want to see, and I don't want to flood you guys with too many things. Just focus on what's happening. I think we're at a great time regardless. Opportunities everywhere. Be safe. Paper trade. If you guys don't know what you're doing, check out the free stock course. Learn on that. Take your time, but get ready. Be smart. Study up. Stay in school. Love you guys.